Are you eating healthy, exercising regularly, yet watching your weight stay stubbornly the same or worse, increase? If so, you're not alone. For years, the conventional wisdom has pushed calorie restriction and intense workouts as the holy grail of weight loss. But what if I told you that the real culprit might not be fat or food, but inflammation? Not the acute, obvious kind from a sprained ankle or a fever, but chronic, silent inflammation that quietly disrupts your body's systems day after day. I'm Dr. Deep Dive, a physician with over 25 years of experience in internal medicine, functional nutrition, and metabolic health. I've worked with thousands of patients who came to me frustrated, exhausted, and defeated after trying every diet and fitness plan with no lasting results. Through deep investigation and personalized interventions, one pattern kept emerging: chronic inflammation. It's the invisible barrier that turns your own body into its worst enemy when it comes to losing weight. The inflammatory trap: how your body locks in fat. To understand how inflammation sabotages fat loss, let's explore the endocrine and biochemical cascade it sets off. When your body is inflamed, your adrenal glands respond by pumping out more cortisol, a stress hormone designed to protect us in moments of threat. This was crucial when our ancestors were running from predators. But in modern life, ongoing stress, processed food, lack of sleep, and toxins keep cortisol levels high. Cortisol signals your body to store fat, particularly around the belly and hips, and halts weight loss by creating a perceived survival threat. But it doesn't stop there. Elevated cortisol also interferes with insulin, the hormone responsible for regulating your blood sugar and storing energy. This condition, known as insulin resistance, makes your body less efficient at metabolizing carbohydrates and fats, leading to more fat storage. Even worse, inflammation triggers immune responses that produce cytokines and other signaling molecules that compete with insulin at receptor sites, blocking insulin from doing its job. This creates a vicious loop. More inflammation leads to more insulin resistance, which leads to more fat accumulation, which fuels even more inflammation. Water retention is another hallmark of inflammation. Many patients complain of persistent bloating, puffiness, or a sense of being swollen, especially in the face, fingers, or legs. This isn't just water weight from a salty meal. It's systemic inflammation impairing lymphatic drainage and vascular function. A patient's journey from frustration to freedom. Let me share a story that still inspires me. Maria, a 47-year-old nurse, came into my clinic after years of struggle. She exercised 5 times a week, ate what she believed was a balanced diet, and yet her weight had been increasing steadily. She had tried keto, intermittent fasting, even juice cleanses. Nothing worked. Worse, she was experiencing joint pain, brain fog, and chronic fatigue. After a comprehensive evaluation, we discovered high markers of inflammation-elevated CRP, homocysteine, and an imbalanced gut microbiome. We adjusted her diet, focusing not on calories, but on removing inflammatory triggers and adding healing, nutrient-dense foods. Within 6 weeks, Maria lost 12 pounds, not by starving, but by healing. Her energy returned, her sleep improved, and she finally felt like her body was on her side again. The 4 anti-inflammatory food pillars. What helped Maria and so many others were strategic dietary changes based on current scientific understanding of anti-inflammatory nutrition. Let's explore the 4 cornerstone food groups that combat inflammation and support healthy, sustainable fat loss. Turmeric, ginger, the golden duo. Turmeric's active compound, curcumin, is one of the most powerful natural anti-inflammatories. It works by blocking NF-κB, a protein complex that controls DNA transcription and inflammatory cytokine production. In simpler terms, curcumin stops the body's internal fire from spreading. Ginger, meanwhile, contains gingerol, which reduces oxidative stress and inhibits pro-inflammatory molecules like prostaglandins. Additionally, ginger promotes gut motility and soothes intestinal inflammation, making it a digestive ally as well. Practical tip: start your day with turmeric ginger tea or add fresh, grated versions into soups, stews, or smoothies. Healthy fats, your metabolism's friend. Contrary to outdated diet dogma, fat isn't the enemy, bad fat is. Your brain, hormones, and cellular membranes all rely on healthy fats to function. Anti-inflammatory fats include extra virgin olive oil, rich in oleic acid and polyphenols. Coconut oil supports ketone production and brain health. Avocados, high in monounsaturated fats. Chia seeds, flax seeds, walnuts, and almonds, rich in omega-3s and fiber. These fats help stabilize blood sugar, curb cravings, and promote satiety while reducing inflammation throughout the body. Colorful, non-starchy vegetables. Dark leafy greens like kale, chard, arugula, and bok choy are packed with antioxidants, vitamins, and minerals. Their fiber content nourishes the gut microbiome, while their phytonutrients combat oxidative stress. Spinach, while nutritious, contains high levels of oxalates, which can be inflammatory for individuals prone to kidney stones or poor gut health. It's best to rotate greens and prioritize diversity. Tip: eat the rainbow wame for 5-7 servings of differently colored veggies each day. High-quality protein. Protein provides the essential amino acids your body needs to repair tissues and regulate inflammatory pathways. Wild-caught fish like salmon, sardines, and mackerel are excellent sources of both protein and anti-inflammatory omega-3s. For plant-based diets, lentils, chickpeas, and mung beans are good sources, though combining different plants is necessary to obtain all essential amino acids. The hidden inflammatory saboteurs you must remove. While adding anti-inflammatory foods is powerful, it's not enough. You must also remove the most aggressive inflammation-inducing culprits from your daily intake. Sugar in all its forms. Sugar white, brown, raw, even honey and agave drives systemic inflammation. When consumed regularly, sugar spikes insulin, disrupts gut flora, feeds harmful bacteria, and contributes to oxidative stress. Many patients argue, "But it's natural." Yes, but so is poison ivy. When your body is already inflamed, even natural sugars act as fuel for that fire. Highly processed foods. Fast foods, frozen meals, boxed snacks, and processed meats are engineered for shelf life, not human health. They are packed with preservatives, emulsifiers, synthetic colors, and pro-inflammatory compounds like advanced glycation end products, AGEs. Your body treats these as foreign invaders, triggering immune responses that perpetuate chronic inflammation. Modern gluten. Today's wheat is not the same as what your grandparents ate. Most commercial wheat is genetically altered to increase yield and shelf life, but at the expense of digestibility. This modern gluten damages the intestinal lining, leads to leaky gut, and fuels inflammation. Industrial seed oils. Soybean oil, corn oil, canola oil, safflower oil all are high in omega-6 fatty acids. While omega-6 is not inherently bad, the imbalance between omega-6 and omega-3 in modern diets promotes inflammation. Instead, cook with olive oil, avocado oil, coconut oil, or organic ghee. Conventional dairy. Most dairy today comes from cows raised on GMO corn, antibiotics, and hormones. The residues from this poor quality feed make their way into milk, cheese, and yogurt, burdening your immune system and promoting inflammation. Transitioning to dairy alternatives or seeking grass-fed organic options can make a world of difference. The lifestyle factor, more than just food. Healing inflammation isn't just about what's on your plate, it's about your whole life. Here are the most overlooked non-dietary contributors to chronic inflammation. Chronic stress raises cortisol and suppresses the immune system. Poor sleep increases inflammatory cytokines. Sedentary behavior reduces anti-inflammatory myokines produced by muscles. Exposure to toxins. Household cleaners, plastics, polluted air, and personal care products contain endocrine disruptors and inflammatory agents. Make time for nature. Prioritize 7-8 hours of sleep, move daily, and minimize chemical exposure. The calorie myth debunked. One of the most damaging ideas in the weight loss world is that success is all about calories in versus calories out. While energy balance matters, this model fails to account for how food quality and inflammation affect metabolism. Two people eating the same number of calories can have completely different results if one is eating inflammatory, ultra-processed foods while the other consumes anti-inflammatory whole foods. The latter will burn fat more efficiently, experience better satiety, and enjoy greater hormonal harmony. The real measure of success. Weight is just one data point. What matters more is how you feel. Is your energy stable throughout the day? Are your joints pain-free? Is your digestion smooth? Are your emotions balanced? Are you sleeping deeply? When inflammation drops, these are the real changes you notice, and they often precede dramatic fat loss. Closing lesson. You are not broken, you are inflamed. If you've struggled with your weight despite your best efforts, stop blaming yourself. Your body is not betraying you. It is protecting you from toxins, stress, poor food, and imbalance. But it's tired. When you remove what's harming you and nourish your body with anti-inflammatory healing foods and habits, the results can feel miraculous. You're not lazy. You're inflamed, and inflammation is reversible. Let this be your turning point. Dr. Deep Dive.